You've spoken really with a lot of conviction about the need to, like, for youth ministry, children's ministry, not just to be a youth pastor's problem or like a kids worker's problem, but the whole church needs to get on board.
Yeah.
And just with the backdrop of your story and all you've been through, I just wonder if you share a bit about your heart about what it looks like for the church to take seriously, like, making bridges towards young people, and especially young people who might be coming from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, what a great question. So Reggie Joiner, man, founder of Orange, he often says that every kid is one loving adult away from being a success story. And I think my story embodies that principle in a way like never before. It's the whole idea of nature versus nurture, that you can come from a crazy background. You can come from wild circumstance. You can be counted out, but with the right environment to flourish, you can rewrite your story. And I think that when we talk about this idea of churches and the next generation and being so passionate about, it's like the church should be, one, the safest place for the world and for those that are underprivileged, but it should be the most empowering place, the most attractive place for someone that is without to receive hope, guidance, empowerment. And when we don't prioritize the next generation, we miss out on massive opportunities to help rewrite stories that the enemy has stepped into to destroy. And so I think it's just so important that we see the opportunity, because Orange had a thing called Just a Phase. It was a campaign called Just a Phase. They've actually turned it into a brand, and they've done a ton of research on it and da-da-da. But the idea of Just a Phase was that at every phase of a kid's life, from kindergarten up to 12th grade, there are unique opportunities that you can leverage differently in different seasons, and maximize it in a greater way. And so their whole encouragement is do you see the phase that you're in or that a kid is in, and have you recognized the unique opportunities that you can access and even leverage to steer a kid in the right direction at that specific phase? And I think for many pastors and leaders that don't prioritize the next generation, I think a large part of that is that they don't recognize that there is an opportunity that's being missed. And so I think it's important, man. I could go for 3 hours on that, but
I love it. I think people like you and I, sometimes we get thrown into, like we said earlier, talk about reaching the next generation. And it's kind of like, and I think one of the misconceptions is like, okay, I don't have a budget. I don't have a nice auditorium. I don't have lights. I can't do the fancy church thing. So, and I just think it's such a misconception that that's what the next generation's asking for. Maybe there was a generation asking for that, but that's not high school students today. That's not what they're asking for. Sam, what do you think that high school students in the church, outside the church, are asking for from the church?
Yeah, I think that high schoolers are asking from everybody, especially the church, for a safe place. I think they want a place where they can belong, be in a place where they can be accepted, and most importantly, a place where they can be them. I think that, as a young person, and let me say this, be them and also maximize their potential. I think as a young person, for me, before I knew Christ, that's all I was looking for. I wanted a tribe that would accept me for who I am, and that would show me how to be great. I didn't need the money. I didn't need, per se, the cool lights. I just wanted somebody that could breathe belief into me. I had two friends growing up. One of them went to the NBA. One of them went to the NFL. And we played basketball together. Before I wanted to be Christian Usher, I thought I was going to be Michael Jordan. Now, around age, ninth grade, I stopped growing. And so I realized, okay, that That's probably not going to happen. I haven't even broken 6 feet, but I wanted to play ball. And so I used to play ball with them when we were young, like 11 years old. And there's a league here called AAU, which is kind of the amateur athletic union, but you can play AAU and be scouted. And I mean, it's everybody kind of, and so their dad coached the AAU team. They're a little older. And every time I remember, and we would see his dad and we would see the kids, he would always tell us as 11, he said, they're going pro. He was about his sons. And we were like, okay, yeah, me too. Right. Me too. I'm going pro. And this went on for like 3 or 4 years. I ended up, obviously, I stopped playing ball because I stopped growing and started doing the artistic thing. They kept going. Well, I looked up, and after about in 12th grade, both of them have gotten scholarships to college. And I was just like, okay, wait. And next thing you know, they started showing up on ESPN, which is the massive sports channel here in the States. And then we looked up, and one got drafted into the NFL. And the other one got drafted. And I said, and so I ran back into it. Father, late, like this was like 10 years later. I said, what? I said, how did you do it? I said, what did you give me the sauce now? And he said to me, I'll never forget it. He said, I believed in them until they believed in themselves. And that just speaks to the power of belief and the power of what the next generation longs for. Yeah. We long, and I say we, like I'm still there. I longed for someone to believe in me until I started to. That's what they want. And the church, oh my gosh, we have the greatest opportunity and the greatest connection to the one that, that breathes life into all of us. I mean, the opportunity we have to leverage that for the sake of the next generation. Oh my gosh. We talk about renewing the mind. I mean, that's what it's all about. The idea of changing the mind to understand, one, to live out what God calls for us to live out, but also to understand the greatness that lies within us because Christ is with us and because we are made in his image. You got me preaching. Woo, I'm getting ready to go. But that's what I think, man. We don't need another party, even though parties are great. We don't need another concert, even though concerts are great. The next generation needs people that will believe in them until they believe in themselves.